So I'm back on Big Red. Poor old thing. Tried to clean up the yard, and when I parked it, it wouldn't go again. So I've been monkeying around with the. Oh, I did the coil, the cap and rotor, and then I found out the distributor's just pooched. So I got a new one. Not a new one, but a new to me one, like brand spanking new condition. Look at that, no wear on that gear at all. So I got it cheap there in town. I got it off Dr. Diesel. He said he had it in his boat. Thought it was the problem, wasn't the problem, so he took it back out and then he scrapped that motor. So I know there's all this top dead center blah 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 I see on there, but I can't find these marks. And I'm not a mechanic, but I am a carpenter, so this is my kit. You know, measuring tape, some black electrical tape, a square, got a socket, you know, on an extension. I made a tool out of that, you'll see in a minute. So let me just crawl inside this wheel well. So here's what I'm planning. My little tool just fits down in that distributor. So you got a little bit of play on that. So I'm going to mark the range of that play with my drywall knife. Make a couple little scritch marks over there on the firewall. So that's where that thing has to go back in. And if you look down, this flat surface here lines up exactly with that flat surface on that big nut underneath there. So that's my reference point for the distributor location. You know, carpenter style. So I'm going to get all that ready. And then of course I watched the YouTube video on this, and the guy's like, you need a bent wrench, and I'm like, bah humbug. But yeah, you need a bent wrench to get in underneath there, and it's 9/16, and I got tons of them, so I'm just going to come around here and go into the shop, put this on the bench here. Oh, I hope it don't break. That's going to hurt. Ooh, that's a good wrench. I may have to heat that puppy up or put a bar on it. I'll find a chunk of pipe. So I'm going to make up a tool like that. I got my other handy dandy indicator tool, and I think I can go with that. I think it'll be alright. I'll get the old girl started and get it out of the way. Oh yeah, once I get the new keys made. I lost my keys during all this ordeal. Put my little tool in there. And it butts tight here, and it's equal distance here, so it should hold in there pretty good. It doesn't move around in there much. I got my handy dandy drywall knife. Keep that tight against the plastic so it's square. And there's our range of motion. Put the line right there. Well, it's kind of more like an arrow. And then over here. See, just between those 2 points. That's where it is now, so that's where it should end up. That's the theory. So we'll see if it works. I'll take this off of here, and I still have to bend up that wrench. There's my bend. And let's see if I got it right. Might be a little long. Yeah, there we go. I'm on it. And it just clears that rocker cover. That's pretty much perfect right there. Okay. Noodles are ready. Gonna have some lunch. Well, I got lunch out of the way. I got my wrench on there. I'm gonna see if I can loosen that off. Oh yeah, that's not too tight. That's not bad. Okay. Now I know. Alright, I can get down where I can see it now. Sort of see it. This plug wire out of the way here. Look at all this insulation's all just crispy. The old girl needs a bit of help. I can't see a thing in there with the sun in my eyes. I'm just going by braille. I guess this thing comes right out of there, right? I got it loose. I got it on there once. There we go. I got it again. Yep. I got it. Alright, Mom. Yeah, so this is going to take a while. Let's time warp. So that should be loose enough I can get my hand down in there and take it out the rest of the way. So, I'm going to get that out, and then I guess it's lift that distributor out. Yeah, it's coming out easy. Alright, I'm going to clearance all these wires. And some leaves. I hope this is the right thing to do, taking this big bolt out of here. I think there's a bracket, right? Yeah, there's a bracket on it. Okay. Sometimes I sleep through the important parts of those videos. Alright, so I'm going to lift it up and counterclockwise, I guess that gear comes out like. There we go. Straight up and a couple degrees counterclockwise. Okay, so I got the old one out. Trouble is, look at the ends are different. It almost looks like this one was the same as this, only upside down. I don't know if that's a thing. This one's got a groove in it, but meh. I'll do some careful measuring. Got let's call it 1 inch and a 1/16. 1 inch and a, oh yeah, it's the same length. Let me see. If I turn this gear over, yeah, the teeth fall the same direction. And the roll pin is in the right spot, right? Okay, so I'm going to do a little comparison here now. These are evened up here. It's sitting on a flat surface, so let's see where that the oil pump thing is. It's about 2 o'clock. That's the same gear, so it should go back in the same hole. Alright, well, I'll get that roll pin out of there. Okay, so I just did a little experimentation on the old one. I popped that wrist pin out. I got some punches out of my carpenter-like stuff. And I popped that out and found out that that little thing, that little ring that moves up and down in here, there's a washer and then that little ring with prongs on it. You have to get the right orientation. It'll just fall right out of there, right? See it moving in there? Yeah, so that'll just fall off. So I had to refer back to this one to put it back in the right position. So now this one's back in the right position. If I mess up this one, turning it over, well then I'll refer back to this one. So I'm going to take that roll pin out of this one now and pop that off and turn it over, I guess, and we'll see what it looks like. You're probably not supposed to use vice grips on these, but I did. You got to hold this gear in place somehow. So this one's actually opposite the other one that I did, so I have to clamp it in here. You know, just light. I'm not going to go nuts on it. Then I use the big punch to get it moving, and use the other little smaller punch to get it through the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to hold that ring in there. Get that off. Turn it over. Do they line up? No? Yeah. Yeah, look. Ah, there's a hole. There's a hole. I was pushing it and it kept coming out the end here. Goodness. Alright, so we got a new gear on a new distributor. And I'll put that pin back in. There's my hole. There's my hole. And there we go. Just had to flip that thing around. Who knew, eh? So I think as long as I get that back at 2 o'clock when I drop this in, it should just drop in there. And I had to shine that up a little bit. It was rusty, so I took a bit of emery cloth, shined it up, and I put a bit of dielectric grease on it. So I'll put the rotator back on it. Oh, great, because of camera position here. There we go. Okay, so it's snugged back down. I'm going to set it back on the fender, and I'll set this back to the 2 o'clock position. And it should go in there like nobody's business. In line with that bolt again. Right there. Oops. Then get a little tool back in there. Put that in there. Looks like for a tooth to the left. So when I tried the distributor in there, of course I was out one tooth. So now I've got to take this screwdriver and back the oil pump off by one tooth. As far as I know, that's what I got to do. So I couldn't find my good screwdriver, and I had to use this other POS there. So that's the right length, so I should be right up to the black tape when I'm in the slot in there. So I don't know. I don't think I have a flashlight strong enough to look down in there, so I'm just going to kind of wing it. So I'm going to pull this thing out carefully and locate the oil pump slot and then just back it off one tooth, hopefully. So I'm going to try it. It took me a while to find a big screwdriver. Now dead center. Oh, I don't know about that. I better have a look down there with the flashlight. That's just too scary for a guy like me to do. Yeah, so that didn't work. So now, my brilliant idea, I'm going to take this gear off of here, make sure it's all nice and clean, and I'll drop it down there without the gear on, and I'll use that as my screwdriver. Because it seems to catch a magnet or something down there, and this is looks like a precision hole, or it fits into something down there. So don't know much about engines, but that would at least keep it center, and I would be able to find that slot just by positioning. So anyway, I'm going to try that. That's about all I got. So this is the old distributor. I'm going to just take it apart and use it as a tool. So the old tool worked. I just laid it flat, got that in the 2 o'clock position, dropped it in, and I backed it off what I estimated would be a tooth. One tooth. So try our little thing here. Look at. Alright. I'm going to crawl back in here one more time. Check my alignment and do a final tighten on that distributor adjuster bolt. Get in here and straight over that other bolt, and that is very, very close. So we're going to call that good. Hook everything all back up here. I'm going to find all my wires. They're all over the place now. There we go. And make sure that that is snuggled up. Oh, that sounded like it went in a hole. There we go. Not at that time. Gotta plug the coil itself back in here. It's one of these two-part things here. Everybody's snapped and happy. Now there's a couple more wires somewhere I gotta hook up. Probably should have done that one first. There we go. I hear the old familiar click. And another one, click. Okay, wires. Come on and clicked. Everybody happy here. That's tight, that's tight. Well, put the breather back on it. When I get a key made, I'm going to try it out. Got the battery all charged up, so I think it's going to work. So it cost me $22 Canadian to get 2 keys made for this old girl. I spent way more than that just looking for the old set. I know what to do next time. Normally I wouldn't, suggest going to the dealer for anything. They're a bit more expensive. But in this case, go to the dealer and get some keys made. I just went into Wilson's Chevolds in Liskeard, and they helped me out, no problem. So hopefully the ignition hasn't been changed over the years, and if it's the original ignition, I should have the right code. Oh my god, I can't believe it's finally here. Let's test it. This ignition was always really sticky too. And my key ring is kind of sucky. Let me see. Yeah, look at that, boys and girls. Look at that. Yeah, it's just like it was before. Sucky, but works. Oh, what a relief. I've been stressing over this stuff so much. Okay, I'm going to pop the hood and put the battery in it. And I'm going to see if it fires over with that new distributor in it. Alright, I got the battery hooked up. My son said have a fire blanket handy. I guess a tarp will do. A bit of water in the truck. That'll help spread the fire, I'm sure. I'm a little scared. Alright, we're about to find out whether the carpenter style distributor change works. Oh, we got battery. Boys! Oh, that started better than it ever has. Wow. Listen to that. It's smooth. That is a win. Neutral. That's a rebuilt 350 in there. Tranny and engine were rebuilt before I got it. Yep, they're calling that a win. Oh my word. What a relief. I got so little time left this year to do anything down here. Cold weather's coming next week. Yeah, I gotta load this puppy up.